outside the portrayal of the glitz and glamour we see when it comes to the Kardashians, we know the family has hidden secrets and problems of their own. One of those hidden secrets and problems being their very own brother, Rob Kardashian. Rob Kardashian's life has played out under the unforgiving glare of reality TV and tabloid scrutiny. Yet, unlike his famous sisters, Rob's journey has been completely overlooked when it comes to things like his love life, his own personal insecurities, his mental health, and a very clear cry for help. As the only son in the Kardashian clan, Rob grew up in a world dominated by women with very large personalities, and despite sharing the family name, he has often been treated like a side character rather than the heir of the Kardashian family throne. In this video, we'll be discussing the sad life of Rob Kardashian, from the pain of him losing his father at a very young age, to feeling overshadowed and sometimes outright bullied by his siblings, to struggles with his weight and his depression, his tumultuous relationships, and the way his mother, Kris Jenner's relentless focus on the family's image may have ultimately impacted him. But before we get into today's video, what's up you guys? My name is Toni. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I always like to start every video with a little bit of positivity, so let's first start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I have the power, the intelligence, and the capability to achieve any goal." Today's verse of the day is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 18, and it reads, "For through him we both have access to the Father by one Spirit." And without further ado, you guys, let's get into the tragic and untold story of Robert Kardashian Jr.
Taking you in this moment.
So let's be real. Being the only brother in a family of high-profile sisters was never going to be easy. Rob Kardashian was born on March 17th, 1987 to Kris Jenner and Robert Kardashian Sr. Amidst his birth, he joined older siblings Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe, making him the fourth, last, and first male Kardashian child. His two younger half-sisters, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, would arrive in the mid and late 1990s after his mother's remarriage to Bruce Jenner. So even when his mama got remarried, he still was the only boy. Now, Rob's childhood was marked by the same privileges and pressures as his sisters. However, even in the early days, there were clear signs that his experience was way different than theirs. I mean, being the only brother with three older sisters in any family can be tough. But if you add to that divorced parents, a new stepfather, and new siblings, and eventually TV cameras capturing your most transformative years, it isn't shocking that Rob had such a tough life. One of the most pivotal moments in Rob's life was when he was just 16 years old. In September 2003, his father, Robert Kardashian Sr., died of esophageal cancer, only 8 weeks after being diagnosed. Rob was just a teenager, and at that age, you're definitely seeking some guidance from a male figure, more specifically from your father. But unfortunately, his father was gone. And his father wasn't the only one gone during this very dark time. His older sisters were already adults, or at least at the cusp of adulthood. I mean, Kourtney was 24, Kim was 22, and Khloe 19. So while they were absolutely devastated too, I'm sure, the timing of when it happened in Rob's life may have hit him on a whole new level. And the fact that his only male figure in a family filled with women was now gone. In one clip from the E! Network series Keeping Up with the Kardashians that followed the family, Rob broke down crying to his mother Kris about how lost he felt without his father, even expressing a desire to become a lawyer like him.
I'm frustrated that I want to just do certain things like in the business sense, and I feel like my dad would have understood me.
Once again, losing his father at such a critical age left Rob desperate for a male role model and longing for a kind of validation and guidance his dad would have provided for him if he were still here. And the way that the Kardashian family describes Robert Kardashian Sr., he seemed to have been a very amazing father. So losing him when you're about to transition into adulthood adulthood, I'm sure, hit him like a bag of bricks. With his father now gone, Rob tried to find substitute father figures. I mean, his stepdad, Bruce Jenner, who is now Caitlyn Jenner, said that he was personally asked by Robert Kardashian Sr. on his deathbed to look after the kids. But while Bruce at the time was a positive presence for Rob, his bond with Rob never had much depth from what we saw on camera. And quite frankly, it seemed the only Kardashian child that really had a close relationship with Bruce was Khloe Kardashian. This was even displayed on Khloe Kardashian's podcast, Khloe in Wonderland, when Khloe was speaking to her older sister, Kourtney Kardashian, on her relationship with Bruce Jenner. Kourtney expressed that Bruce was kind of tough on her and he wasn't very nice, which led to them having a tumultuous relationship. Whereas Khloe said that she had a really positive experience with Bruce.
I think something that Bruce did so well with us, or I could speak for myself, is Bruce never tried to be dad. And I always appreciated and respected that.
Okay, so that wasn't my experience.
Okay.
But maybe that's why it became your experience.
Thank you.
So grateful for that for you. But
really? He
I think
tried
that's
to be dad
why,
for you?
Well, not dad, but tried to be
The father
controlling
role.
and bossy and would tell me certain friends can't come over and would like
Is that why
almost
you didn't connect with Bruce?
Well, yeah.
I just thought you didn't like him because he was replacing dad. Not that he did.
Yeah.
No one could replace dad, but that's just why I thought you didn't like him.
So weird that you had such a different experience. I think it's because you were younger.
I had such a different experience, but maybe mom had a talk with him. Maybe your rejection taught him something. So maybe it was a lesson for everyone.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, I want to call my dad, and then he would like hang up the phone.
Oh
We
my
would have
God.
yelling wars.
Yeah, that is not my experience at all. That's crazy. See, you can live in the same house, being raised by the same parents,
Not
and have
even know.
not even know and have totally different experiences. Well, I'm sorry you went through that.
Thank you. It was fine. That's why I moved into dad's.
I had no clue.
So, similarly to Kourtney, Rob gravitated to other male figures in his life. For example, when older sister Khloe Kardashian married NBA star Lamar Odom in 2009, Rob grew extremely close to Lamar, even moving in with Khloe and her new husband for some time. Lamar became kind of like a big brother or father figure for Rob, and Lamar gave Rob someone to look up to and to hang out with, which was heavily shown on both E! Network shows, Keeping Up with Kardashians and the show Khloe and Lamar. Now, unfortunately, Lamar wasn't the best example for Rob to look up to due to him battling his own demons. At the time, Lamar Odom was dealing with a drug and sex addiction, which resulted in him and his then wife, Khloe Kardashian, divorcing and him even almost losing his life due to an overdose. This made him not a very stable long-term mentor for Rob. So another one bites the dust. Similarly, Scott Disick, who is his older sister Kourtney Kardashian's longtime partner and father to her 3 children, he spent a lot of time with Rob, but Scott's self-centered tendencies, his alcohol problems, along with his very crazy partying habits, would sometimes get Rob himself in trouble, so we very quickly seen that Scott was not going to fill that role either.
When did you get here?
Jesus.
Stop it. Stop it. Scott, you just... Stop it. Stop it, Scott. What the hell is going on here? You just got champagne all over me and I just got dressed. I'm not kidding. People are going to hear me in the hallway. Get up off the floor. Get off the floor. I have champagne all over my new dress.
Mom, I'm bleeding from my fingertip.
I don't give a Get
Well,
off
you know
the
what?
floor.
I do. I didn't deserve none of this. What happened to me? Who did this, Mom?
Stand up, Robert. Put the beer down, Robert.
Blood.
You guys cannot treat somebody's property this way.
Look, I didn't try to get you bloody. You're gonna push me. Mom, look what
Go
you did
sit down.
here. That's assault. Oh, my-
Scott, I need you to go sit down. Scott! I'm so mad and disappointed and confused. This is a major meeting for me tonight. I can't afford to deal with this right now.
Oh, wait, your room's this way.
Of course they
What
hurt
is
me.
going on?
They hurt me.
We're ready to go to Kim's birthday. What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know what they
Stop
did
it.
to me,
What
Mom.
is wrong? Can you come here and tell me what's going on?
Look what he did to me.
Are not coming to dinner because they're annoying.
He needs to go lie down.
I don't control him, so he can do whatever the he wants, and he's not coming to dinner. and I don't need to hang around losers like that.
They're acting like drunken idiots. There's no way they're coming to Kim's birthday dinner.
We are leaving in 10 minutes for dinner, Rob. Get dressed.
Yes?
You don't have a choice. I'm not kidding, Robert. JJ, if you'd get dressed, I'd love for you to join us for dinner. Robert, it is your sister's birthday. Get your clothes on right now. I'm not kidding. Get off dressed. JJ, can you go get your friend dressed, please?
Rob, I'll go to dinner.
Robert, I'm not kidding. How disappointed I am in you. I think that you allow yourself to be just influenced by people that make bad decisions. Now you're ruining your sister's birthday. I'm really upset.
Mom, we're joking around.
You're not joking around, Robert. Go to your room, please. Either rinse off and get... Yes.
Rob does not act this way. My son does not behave this poorly, especially when he knows that a night is so important to me.
Unfortunately, in the end, it was clear that no one the women in his life brought around could truly replace Rob's dad, Robert Kardashian Sr. So the absence of a strong guiding hand in his life left Rob insecure and even more confused than ever. And I believe, along with many others, that this contributed to the struggles that would later fully take over his life. Sometimes the hardest part isn't wanting to get better. It's actually finding someone who can help. That's where ZocDoc comes in. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available whenever you need them. We've all been there. You search for a doctor online, get a long list of names, and half of them don't even take your insurance or can't see you for the next 3 months. ZocDoc cuts all of that stress out. You can see real patient reviews, filter by your insurance, and book an appointment right in the app. Sometimes as soon as today. Whether you're looking for a therapist, dermatologist, dentist, or even a primary care doctor, ZocDoc helps you find the right one without all of that pointless back and forth. So while Rob's story is showing us how easy it is to ignore your mental health, specifically when life gets heavy, let that be a reminder to actually take that first step. To book an appointment, check in, and make your well-being a priority. Go to ZocDoc.com/Toni and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/ToniBryanne. Now let's get into Rob's life in the spotlight. So when Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered in 2007, Rob was literally just 20 years old and freshly navigating adulthood. His father passed less than 5 years ago, and he was kind of tossed into the fire on this whole new concept of being a reality star. So during this pivotal moment in his life, he had just started college at USC and was more low-key compared to his sisters. But early on the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Rob was prominently featured. We saw storylines from his college life, his party life, his relationship with his first girlfriend, Cheetah Girl star Adrienne Bailon, and segments of his sometimes rocky relationship with both his siblings and his mother and stepfather. But as the Kardashian-Jenner empire took off, it often felt like Rob was left on the back burner, and we saw him less and less on the show and in real life. His sisters were becoming these mega famous and wildly successful women for their looks, brands, and public personas, while Rob struggled to find his place in the same industry where his sisters were so successful in. I mean, even his baby sisters surpassed him when they reached adulthood. And at times, he even seemed to be the family punchline, with now his growing younger sisters joining in on the picking on him. Like this clip where Kylie questions one of Rob's new large tattoos, and the whole family jumps in on him.
What is it?
No.
Why can't I see?
My tattoos will not be seen to you now. I don't give a.
What? Wait.
Why don't you just chill out?
I don't care anything.
Kylie, just chill out because you started this whole thing and keep your mouth.
We didn't start anything. We just asked it.
Bible.
Don't say that to me.
And stop continuing this. Talk about politics. Be smart. Don't talk to me about something I'm not going to talk about. Bible, you're retarded.
Rob himself later admitted he never truly felt comfortable in the spotlight. As he entered his mid-20s, he grew more self-conscious. Eventually, he no longer wanted to film and put himself in a position where he was not comfortable. Take a look at what Rob had to say to his sister Khloe Kardashian on her podcast.
And why don't you film a lot? Do you just want to take a step back? Or is there, I think people think there's like a blowout between us.
There's definitely nothing wrong between any of us. It just has everything to do with myself. I don't want to be filming and putting myself in a position where I'm not comfortable. Like, I'm not comfortable in my skin. So why would I want to go be on camera and just be vulnerable and let like people in when I'm not? That's not what I want to do.
Well, I will say just you saying that is very vulnerable. And I think people will respect that.
I mean, that's just how I've been. I'm not going to just put myself out there if I'm not comfortable with myself. I haven't been comfortable with myself in years. And also filming and doing all that, just, it's not for everybody. So
no, it's not.
And I choose my own happiness and like peace rather than
you better talk about it
for somebody who doesn't do anything for me in my personal life. So
you better talk about it.
Unlike his sisters who seemed to love the spotlight, especially Kim Kardashian, Rob was always more private. And over time, this led him to take a step back from the show and public life. But that was also fueled by his ongoing personal issues that we'll discuss a little later on in this video. Firstly, I believe it's important for us to delve deeper in understanding the family dynamics that often left Rob feeling overshadowed and, quite frankly, picked on. Oh, and how that impacted and affected Rob. So as we see displayed on the show, Rob had a pretty close bond with his sisters, especially his older sister Khloe Kardashian. And Khloe herself has even admitted to being kind of like a second mom or twin to him. But on the other hand, his sisters could be kind of mean to Rob. We've seen sweet moments of the sisters protecting and encouraging Rob, but we've also seen some harsh moments, especially by his older sister Kim Kardashian, of them being pretty hard on him. So with his older sister Kim Kardashian being nearly 7 years older than him, Kim at times adopted kind of a tough love or just tough approach when it came to Rob specifically. On camera, she would constantly scold Rob, belittle him, and even call him names. And fans definitely noticed, constantly calling out Kim for bullying Rob.
I'm so excited that you guys are all here tonight. And I want to get away once a week from business and commit to connecting. And that's what tonight's all about, is connecting.
Yay! Yeah, especially for Kim.
What did that mean?
Why don't you think about it?
Oh my God.
Because you're a snob and you're too busy for your
What's going on down there at that end of the table?
He's being such a
One, I'm joking
Kim,
with you.
Robert.
Why are you guys fighting? I don't understand.
He's just an ass to me. Except for if he wants money.
That's not true. Actually, Khloe gives me an allowance.
That's pathetic. You're 24 years old. Get a job and don't live off your sister.
Maybe we should separate you two. Maybe that would be a good idea. We'll separate you.
Because this energy is crazy.
All we wanted to do was have a family dinner.
Rob himself spoke on the fact that Kim constantly brings him down and doesn't uplift him.
I just said Kim's a bitch. And don't ever disrespect me and talk about how I'm a loser and I don't have a job. Because you say that to me on a daily and you say that to everyone. Bible on Dad, you definitely do. You probably say it maybe over 12 times a year.
You said Dad would be so disappointed in our careers and
No,
our
I never
jobs.
did. I said it. Bible on Dad, I never said that. I said he would be disappointed in how you disrespected the hotel and how he would want me to go to grad school. I never did.
That's not our problem. We all think you're bipolar and you should go to the doctor.
Okay, that's great. Then go to the doctor. I think you're a whore and you should shut up.
If anyone else was talking to Kim like this, it'd be on. You know, I would start swinging on him.
You're obnoxious. Who are you?
You're a dick.
You're a dick.
You have no manners.
You're a whore. You have no manners.
You're being an ass.
And this pattern of Kim ridiculing Rob reacting angrily, and then Kim blaming him played out multiple times early on in the show.
You guys fighting so much?
I'm not. I'm asking Princess Kim. Princess Kimberly.
Why are you so angry all the time?
Because Kim is literally the most selfish person here and doesn't give a about if I have a career. All she cares about is herself. I've told you this for years. Kim is selfish, obviously. Doesn't ever want to include me in anything. That's
My job is to help you out?
No.
You're not charity. You get a job.
The point is, you would rather put yourself in it and take me out of it because you want all the attention. Just like you said, I want to do Oprah by myself. I get it. You want to separate yourself. You're your own person.
No,
You can just look at her, take a picture. A picture says 1,000 words. Right there, I would say one word.
In one memorable family therapy session around 2012, when Kourtney was pregnant with her daughter Penelope, Rob broke down sobbing about his feelings and how he was currently feeling. And there was a beautiful moment where Kourtney started crying just seeing her brother in pain. But his other sister, Kim, she seemed to be cold and callous by Rob.
You look sad. Am I misreading you? I want everybody quiet but Rob right now. Robert, don't leave. Please.
Leave, Rob.
Please don't leave. Stay and talk about this. Things don't get better when you walk out.
Just tried to see him cry.
I know. But it's good for him to cry. That's the stuff he was holding in the whole time.
Yeah.
No, I know it's good. But he never does. That's why. Well, that's the value of this kind of a forum. You know what? I'm gonna go see if I can find him for a second, okay? Would you mind?
Yeah.
You okay? It's okay?
To me, it seemed like she was completely unmoved by his tears. And as I said, there are several clips aside from the ones that I already showed you throughout the series of Kim appearing very mean when it comes to her younger brother. Another great example would be when her and her siblings were pissed that their mother, Kris Jenner, was considering buying Rob a house. And Kris clapped back with a very infamous and lethal line. And I wanted to be clear, Kim was not the only one to dish out tough love, but she was by far the most blunt when it came to Rob specifically.
You know who would have loved these? If he showed up. Rob didn't show up for his birthday, didn't show up for Christmas, doesn't go on the vacations. Doesn't he like us anymore?
You guys, he has like deep issues.
But we've all been here to offer him help and he won't take it, so
Yeah.
I don't have sympathy.
Kim has no sympathy because she's never lived with someone like that. She doesn't understand it.
Chloe wants to fix everything and fix the situation, but she can't. I think I'm just a little bit more of the tough love kind of person. My personality is like, all right, you complain, you don't like it, get up and do something about it.
Robert isn't in a strong place right now. Yeah, but I also think that you baby him. I think we all have.
And years later, in 2018, Kim even turned Rob's name into an insult. During one of the many arguments she had with her older sister, Kourtney Kardashian, Kim snapped at Kourtney, saying that she was becoming the new Rob of the family. And it was clear that wasn't meant to be a compliment.
She told me she's going out of town with the kids for the holidays.
What?
I thought that was weird, but I tried to convince her out of it a little bit.
Like, that is just the wildest thing.
That's not okay.
No. Oh, I think she'll end up coming.
But do you think it's like a cry for help? Like a cry for attention? Is she the new Rob?
From the clip, you can see that Kim was comparing Kourtney's lack of participation or ambition to Rob's situation, implying that being like Rob was a bad thing. And to me, for your own sister to use your name as a put down, I know that has to be very hurtful. And not only hurtful, it also showed how disconnected Rob had become from the family's main hustle, and that his absence of struggles were a running joke to some of them. But as I stated earlier, not all of his siblings treated him like this. Like I said, Chloe had a very special relationship and bond with Rob, and she still does to this day. And quite frankly, she has always been his biggest champion, and the two were extremely close growing up. Chloe often says that she and Rob were like their own little pair in the family. And to me, I feel like that was the case because they both were kind of like the odd ducklings out. When you look at the four Kardashian siblings, because Kendall and Kylie are Jenners, Kim and Kourtney seem to be like the all-stars of the family. They seem to be very popular. They were considered the more beautiful sisters. So though Chloe was a sister, she was kind of left out. And with Rob being the only boy, he also felt left out. So I think that's how they bonded. Plus they were the two younger siblings. And you can see that their close relationship that they had as children delved into a beautiful dynamic as adults. For example, when Rob's troubles escalated, which we'll get into a little bit later, he even lived with Chloe for a while as she tried to help him get back to himself. She encouraged him to exercise, eat healthy, and re-engage with life, though she admitted it was very frustrating when he wouldn't follow through. Chloe said this to People magazine when she was discussing Rob Kardashian. In quote, "I can't win life for Rob. I have to wait until he's ready to do it for himself. End quote. However, despite that, she still refused to give up on her brother. Unlike Kim, who eventually lost patience and wanted to stop catering to Rob, Khloe stood by him even when things got really hard. And this mix of sibling concern and cruelty undeniably affected Rob's self-esteem. I mean, he was constantly being compared to his superstar sisters. He didn't reach their level of success. He didn't have kids of his own. He didn't have a standout relationship. He didn't amount to what people would think the male heir of the Kardashian family would be able to reach. And I'm sure it really impacted him even more knowing the fact that he had to carry on his father's name. Over the years, Rob likely internalized some of the negative labels thrown at him, not just by his sister Kim, but also by the media, being called lazy, a loser, and even worse. All of this further fueled his depression. An online therapist speculated that Kim's enormous success became a bitter reminder to Rob of everything he felt he wasn't accomplishing. I mean, Rob constantly called Kim self-centered, he called her a brat, attention-seeking, and a lot of negative things. So to him, he might feel like Kim was being rewarded for bad behavior, whereas he seemed to be more level-headed, but he was being punished. And with that frustration of his sisters and even mother being more successful than him, it may have came out as anger or withdrawal, especially when certain family members responded constantly with no empathy. And I personally feel this became more of a vicious cycle that further pushed Rob away. Before we get into the next talking point, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video. Now let's get into Rob's weight gain, depression, and removal from the spotlight. By the mid-2010s, it was clear Rob Kardashian's internal struggles were manifesting in ways that were hard for him to hide. When you look at everything Rob was going through, the depression, the isolation, the pressure to always look perfect under a family that's under a tight microscope, it's very easy to see how his mental health quickly started to slip away. And the truth is, a lot of people feel exactly how Rob has felt in the past and may currently feel. Even if you're not on TV, that feeling of not being enough or just being stuck in your own head, it's something so many of us can relate to. That's why I want to take a second to thank the people that help us through those tough moments, our therapists. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and this year, BetterHelp is saying thank you to therapists. Behind every story of growth, healing, or progress, there's a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone to take a step forward. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide, specifically on their mental health journeys. That's millions of small moments. So this World Mental Health Day, let's take a moment to thank and appreciate the people that help our days feel lighter. And if you've been thinking about starting therapy today, this is your sign. If you're ready to start your own journey, BetterHelp is here to help you take that step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp. Just go on betterhelp.com/ToniBryanne. That's BetterHelp.com/ToniBryanne. Now, when the show first started, Rob was fairly fit. He wasn't like this super muscular dude, but he had a very nice physique. So when around 2012 to 2013, when Rob started gaining weight, it definitely rang some bells to a lot of people. Tabloids were constantly calling out his rapid weight gain and even his family members. This led Rob to be increasingly self-conscious when he was on camera, which led to him having less and less appearances on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Me.
And me.
Me.
Tim.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
He's getting numbed up. Can I come in?
I don't really want to film with my shirt off.
Just me. Hi.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Rob? Tell me. Don't cry.
What's wrong?
Rob, what's wrong? You confused? Tell us. Talk to us.
I'm sad because I don't even want to sit down because of
During all of this, Rob's mental health was significantly suffering. He seemed depressed and withdrawn from himself and his family.
I think Robert is not capable of controlling himself. Yeah, you're not going to fit into your tux.
I have it. I
think, oh, Kim.
You know, it's really not cool that everybody's picking on me, trying to call me fat boy or whatever. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be healthy, and I'm going to lose weight for the wedding. I don't need to worry about whatever they're saying.
Kardashian's so strong, so.
Let me see. Let me see. I gave birth to it. Let me see it. Look at that.
And this led into a difficult cycle of him comfort eating, which led to more weight gain and further withdrawal. This all seemed to reach a crisis point around 2014. This was when famously Rob bailed on attending Kim Kardashian's lavish wedding to Kanye West in May of that year. So Kim and Kanye got married in Italy, which meant that all the guests had to fly from America into Italy. And Rob did indeed fly to Europe with his family, but he abruptly boarded a flight back home the day before the ceremony. At the time, a bunch of stories ran wild of Rob maybe having an argument with Kim. I mean, they did not get along a lot of the times, and people even blamed Kim for Rob not being at her wedding. But the truth was much more simple and a lot sadder. From what we know now, Rob was very insecure about his appearance that he couldn't bear to be photographed at the event. One insider said in quote, "He wanted to be there, but he was feeling so insecure and didn't want anyone to see him heavier like this," end quote. He was in a very bad place over his struggles with his weight, and rather than face the cameras and of course inevitably public commentary and ridicule, he chose to miss his sister's wedding.
He sent me a long email the morning of that he was gonna leave and there was no fight. And I just thought, you know what, this is my day. I'm not even going to worry about it. I hope he's okay. I totally understand that he wouldn't want to see a lot of people if he was feeling uncomfortable. And I just, you know, you can only pray and wish that someone would not miss out in more memories in life, because life is about memories. So fix the problem. That's just how I am, but we didn't even have a conversation about it.
This just showed how bad Rob's self-esteem had gotten. By 2015, Rob's weight gain was drastic and almost impossible to ignore. Rob reportedly gained over 100 pounds within a year, and that led Rob to be more of a hermit, skipping family holidays and locking himself in his room for days at end. As you know, the mother, Kris Jenner, had to say something because people were noticing that Rob wasn't around. She said this in quote, "As a mom, it breaks my heart to see Rob going through what he's going through. He's kind of stuck in a really bad place," end quote. And we saw this displayed on the show where Kris tried to stage an intervention for Rob. In a Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode, she confided to Kim saying in quote, "If I don't help him and do something drastic, he's going to die," end quote.
But I feel like if I don't help him do something drastic, that he's gonna die. The most important thing in my life, to me, is my children. I'm Kris. Come on in. This is somebody who can help dissect the situation and figure out exactly what's going on. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. I've planned this meeting without Chloe because Chloe's a little protective of Rob, and I'm not sure if she'll think this is a good idea. I have a son. He was the star of the track team in high school. He was the star of the basketball team. He took on Dancing with the Stars, couldn't put two steps together, and came in second place.
This just says how bad it had gotten for Rob, and I know for a fact they weren't showing us everything that he was going through, which once again we're going to get into a little bit later, because I think this was more than just depression and weight gain, especially with her using words like death. Kris's plan on doing an intervention for Rob involved her bringing in professional interventionists to confront Rob about his lifestyle. But this plan notably excluded Chloe. Chloe, who Rob was living with at the time and who he was closest to, was deemed too protective of him to go along with such a drastic attempt to get Rob help.
He was always someone who was very athletic, and he's gained over 100 pounds in the last year.
I don't talk about it very much, so it's very upsetting. He doesn't want to participate. He doesn't go out of the house. He's missed Christmas. He missed Kim's wedding.
I mean, he obviously was some kind of depression, and
He's very depressed, but I think what happens is he knows what he's supposed to do, and every single day he treats the next day like a Monday. So he's going to get better tomorrow. He's going to start tomorrow. He's going to work out tomorrow.
he is the king of excuses. Everyone's been overcompensating for him since my dad died because he was 16. I don't know if because he has it so easy, but then also at the same time with what he's going through, I don't want him to feel even more alone. I'm the only one that's like really tough with him, so he probably like avoids me the most.
If he has everything handed to him, why would he change? Kim, I think what you were saying about you set limits and are tough on him. And there might be other people in the family where he knows if he goes to them, he's going to get what he wants. He knows what buttons to push for you.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, we could bring someone to the house to help him get stabilized, bring meds in, and make sure he's comfortable. We can pull some resources within 24 hours.
Yeah. It's just like you're waiting for this horrible thing to happen and there's nothing you can do about it.
We can't guarantee he'll take the help, but we can give it our best shot.
And the attempted intervention did not go very smoothly. Feeling cornered after strangers showed up at Chloe's house to pressure him, Rob lashed out and threatened to move out altogether. In a tearful phone call with Rob, Chloe begged her brother to accept help. She sobbed, saying this in quote, "I can't do this with people. It's not fair that you guys do this to me. Just accept the effing help." End quote.
Tell me, what would be the right way if someone could do it? Okay, but what's the right way? Because you leave every facility we take you to. So what's the right way? Do you think, like, it's fair to do this to me, though? Like, I've been through this how many times? I am involved. Do you think it's fair? I did this for years, and now you're going to do this to me, too, again? Like, I can't do this anymore to people. It's not fair that you guys do this to me all the time. It's not fair. Just accept the help.
Chloe's very clear desperation revealed how much Rob's downward spiral was not just impacting her, but the entire family. She literally compared it to what she'd been through with Lamar Odom's issues. And as I stated earlier, Lamar Odom was someone that was dealing with addiction and even almost died from an overdose. So this just showed how bad it was getting with Rob. She literally pleaded for Rob not to put her through that pain again. Unfortunately, even through Chloe's anguish and the family's deep concern, Rob was not ready to be helped on someone else's terms. He declined the intervention and insisted he did not need that kind of help. After this failed attempt, you already know Kim's patience wore thin. Kim told her sisters that perhaps they needed to cut Rob off entirely until he took responsibility for his own life. Now, I don't know if I would consider that the best advice, but if you are helping someone an innumerable amount of times and they just don't accept the help, you can do but so much because it will start impacting you and your mental health. So I can see from Kim's perspective a little bit, but I also don't advocate for leaving someone who's in such a vulnerable state alone. But in Kim's view, I'm sure she's like, the family keeps coddling and enabling Rob, and that's why he's not getting the help, because he knows that his family is always going to support him regardless if he gets help or not. And maybe in her mind, if they allowed him to hit rock bottom on his own, it would force him to finally change. I guess it had to have been bad because the sisters collectively agreed to stop catering to Rob. They said no more financial assistance, no more babying him, and they hoped in doing that he'd wake up and accept help.
I don't know how it works. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that we've got all the resources in the world, and yet he doesn't
So I think that now what we have to do is everyone back off. Everyone licks Rob's ass and does whatever he says. And it's just at some point you just have to give it up. We all make his life so easy. Okay, we'll drive you around with the chauffeur so no one has to look at you. We had a chef on standby, a trainer. We'll send people to run out and buy you socks and underwear. Like, this is pathetic. We're not going to cater to him anymore, but it has to be all of us.
The other way to look at it is he's got something that maybe he can't help himself.
No, he's still competent to where he can ask for help when he needs it.
From Rob's perspective, however, all of this likely felt like he was being ganged up on by the people who didn't truly understand his pain. I mean, it was a common occurrence that he dealt with throughout his entire life. He wasn't just being lazy or difficult, he was clearly depressed. And being in the public eye did not help at all. all. Being in the public eye showed every pound he gained. Every paparazzi photo taken of him at the time, he looked super disheveled and unhealthy, and there were plenty of cruel comments on social media that was given towards Rob. Unlike his sisters, who I would say probably grew tougher skin than Rob because they were constantly in the spotlight, whereas Rob took a step back, Rob seemed to internalize the ridicule and sink even further into his depression. And by around 2015 to 2016, Rob essentially checked out of the family's reality TV show completely. Rob stopped filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians and became almost a ghost in society. He was rarely seen in public or on his social media. And for a family that literally lives on camera and seems to love attention, Rob's absence was very apparent. And it also showed once again how badly things had gotten for Rob at the time. Now let's get into Rob's relationships and what sent him over the edge, because people noticed it was around Kim's wedding that we saw Rob less and less. So in the midst of Rob battling his own personal demons, Rob's love life took some dramatic twists and turns, but none more public and chaotic than his relationship with Blac Chyna, who now prefers to be called Angela. So I'm going to call her Angela throughout this video. But before we dive into that roller coaster, I think it's worth noting that Rob had a few serious relationships in his younger years that definitely shaped him. So back in 2008 to 2009, Rob dated actress and singer Adrienne Bailon, known from the Cheetah Girls. And Adrienne even appeared on early seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians as Rob's girlfriend. We literally saw their relationship sprout.
So I'm dating Adrienne Bailon, and she is a cheetah girl. It started off as the first musical on the Disney Channel. They sing, dance, movies, clothes, video games, you name it. When I first met Adrienne, I was so in love with her.
Let's make them all go in.
Let's go. I'm trying to find someone who's your best friend and who makes you happy and who you can talk to all the time, and that's Adrienne. This is my first time I've been in love. I'm starting to act as I was before my dad passed away. I definitely feel that my dad brought us together. I tell Adrienne that all the time.
We're getting ice cream.
Yeah, you're getting on your face.
Where is it? Fix it.
No, you're not.
Fix it.
When my dad died, so much of my brother disappeared. And I really appreciate Adrienne for letting him play and be goofy and just be so genuinely happy.
I don't want this time to come. I don't want this to happen, but, you know, she has to make her flight. I mean, I'm not forgetting about my dad, but she fills that void. So she just makes me really happy. Okay.
I love you. I'm gonna miss you. It's not that I think. I'm really gonna miss you.
So what do we do from here?
I love you.
God is crazy.
On the show, they displayed this beautiful, genuine young love. But the relationship ended after Rob admitted to cheating on her. And a lot of people believe that Rob cheating on Adrienne is the reason why his life is what it is now. They believe that Adrienne was the one for him and would have catered to him and loved him, and it would have been a beautiful relationship. And also, a lot of people were really connected to Adrienne and Rob, so that could have been another career move. And though Adrienne is still close to the Kardashian family, she very clearly is in a happy relationship, and there will never be a Rob and Adrienne again. But not long after the conclusion of his relationship with Adrienne, Rob had a brief but intense romance with British pop star Rita Ora around 2012. But this one ended very messily, okay? Rob infamously went on a Twitter rant accusing Rita, not by name, but it was very obvious who he was talking about, of cheating on him with like 20 dudes according to him. And this was a very early sign of Rob's tendency to handle breakups poorly and publicly, foreshadowing what was to come. Now, all that drama with his past relationships does not even come close to his relationship with Angela. Rob's involvement with Blac Chyna, whose real name is Angela White, would turn into one of the most contentious chapters of the Kardashian family. I just want to kick my feet up and grab popcorn when I talk about this story because it brings me back. That was a crazy, crazy time. 2016, what a year. So it all started in early 2016 when Rob was at one of his lowest points health-wise. To everyone's surprise, Rob began dating Angela that January. And mind you, Rob was not healthy. We barely saw Rob. Rob was not the most attractive to people. So it was like, what the heck is Rob doing with Angela? And not just because Rob was seen as sloppy, lazy, and a loser like many people were saying, but because it made no sense how these two got together. It definitely led people raising some eyebrows. Well, Miss Angela had a prior connection to the Kardashian family, okay? She was once seemingly close to Kim Kardashian. They took selfies together, she was around the family, and she also was dating a man, Tyga, at that time. Tyga is a rapper, okay? He is a rapper well known for his hit song, Rack City, but he also was known for being with the very popular stripper at the time, Blac Chyna, who is now Angela. So when Angela started dating Rob Kardashian, her and Tyga were no longer together, but that was still her ex-fiance, okay? And her ex-fiance was now with Rob's younger sister, Kylie Jenner, who we all know that relationship dynamic had a lot of red flags already because Tyga was allegedly dating Kylie when she was underage. And if you look at the timeline, I don't know if that allegedly is so allegedly, okay? So basically, Miss Angela was getting her get back, okay? You took my ex-fiance, I'm gonna take your brother. And Angela and Rob's relationship ran at lightning speed, okay? The sisters, especially Kylie and Kim, were not happy about Rob's new relationship. They felt it was almost a betrayal for him to date someone who had bad blood with the family. And I find that to be hella funny because Miss Kylie Jenner, didn't you take your sister's friend's man? I don't even know how she can take a man at 15, 16 years old, allegedly. But she has no room to have no attitude, and Kim had no room to have an attitude either, because how did you let your little baby sister, yes, she was a baby, get with your friend's fiance? And the way the timelines are set up, it appears that Tyga's relationship with Blac Chyna overlapped with his relationship with Kylie Jenner. Child Kylie Jenner at that. But regardless, Rob did not care about what his sisters had to say. For Rob personally, Angela's entrance into his life initially seemed to be a blessing. Friends noticed that he was improving his habits. He started working out more with Angela's encouragement, and he even shed some weight and his mood lifted. Rob seemed to be finally excited about the future and what was to come. And we, the public, even saw this. Rob came out of hiding, he started being more public, he was on his social media accounts, and he even returned to television in a spin-off show with his now girlfriend, Chyna, called Rob and Chyna. And the show documented their whirlwind romance and the impending arrival of their baby. Yes, y'all, they had a baby, okay? By spring 2016, mind you, they started dating in January, Rob proposed to Angela after only a few months of dating her. And soon after, they announced that Angela was pregnant with Rob's child. So it was a lot, it was very fast, it was very messy, but Rob seemed to be overjoyed at the prospect of becoming a father. And in November 2016, their daughter, Dream Renee Kardashian, was born. And since then, I feel like that baby name has taken over. I have never heard of the name Dream until Dream Kardashian was born. And now I keep seeing baby girl dreams. Rob seemed to have found a new purpose in life. However, that happiness was painfully short-lived. Rob and Angela's relationship turned out to be as tumultuous as it was passionate. Behind the scenes and even on camera, there were fights, and not just any fights, huge fights.
You know what? I'm not even about to keep texting you because I'm about to enjoy the rest of my day. But for the fact that you kept accusing me of doing when you're the one actually texting females, Rob, it's up. Because what are you still texting other females about? About what? But if I do that, I'm a liar and I'm a cheater, though, right? But you can text bitches, though. What? Who are you texting? And what the are you talking about? Who the are you texting? And why the are you still texting bitches? Who are you playing with? Stop playing with me because you're a liar. And you accusing me of doing when I'm not doing. Nobody's doing. You still texting bitches? You just told me this. Rob, so I'm lying? Am I lying? Are you still texting bitches? Yes or no? What are you even trying to do right now? You know what, bitch? You, because you're a
In later court documents and testimonies, allegations emerged that during a December 2016 altercation, Angela got physical with Rob. According to the documents and testimonies, Angela allegedly pointed an unloaded gun at his head and tried to strangle him with an iPhone charging cord. Rob was reportedly left with a torn shirt and hysterically crying after that incident. And around that same time, their arguments started spilling all over social media. And at one point in December 2016, Angela's Instagram was hacked and a flood of her private messages were leaked. Those messages suggested she was talking to other men and perhaps even using Rob for fame or for revenge. Now, Angela claimed Rob was behind this hack, though that was never proven, but if you do look at the fact that they had this big altercation allegedly where she attacked him, I wouldn't be shocked if it was Rob that hacked her Instagram. And after this, the two blasted each other online, causing Angela to walk out on Rob, taking baby Dream with her and clearing out the nursery. Rob showed the empty room on his Snapchat. As I told y'all, he was back on social media, and he put the caption, "She took the baby."
I got the Christmas tree all set up for China and the baby, but they left me. So I get home and China took the baby, took the whole nursery we built, and China took everything that we built for the nursery for the baby Dream, and she left, and she just left me alone and took the baby. And we also built a room for King, but she took everything for King's room as well. But yeah, I'm pretty upset and I'm pretty sad because it's about to be Christmas and I want to be with my baby. And I'm just missing these guys. And I don't mean to keep talking about all this, but it's making me really sad. So yeah, I am not feeling so good. And it's a great year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is hilarious.
She took all my food. Like, all my food. Which is just crazy. Yeah, no, she left me nothing. Nothing. Took all my food.
I'm hungry in the refrigerator.
Everything, all my chips, everything. She took all my drinks. All the Egos.
This is refrigerator number 1. We need to go to refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the other fridge.
So we need
and then the other fridge, she took all the Egos. Man, all my Egos, everything. Yeah, I'm going to. But wait, where's my sugar? She took my sugar. She took my open bag of my favorite chips.
At the time, Rob was devastated that Angela had left and blocked him, and he pleaded on social media about missing his daughter. Angela then fired back that Rob knew where to find them if he really wanted to see Dream. It was very dramatic, it was very ghetto, it was very messy, and it was very public, okay? Seeing this breakout saga play out in real time was absolutely insane. Though they reconciled briefly in January of 2017 for the sake of appearances, by spring of 2017, the engagement was off for good. Angela was, according to insiders, fed up with Rob's issues, calling him way too emotional and depressed, and she said he was incredibly unhealthy for their family. So basically, Angela reached her breaking point when it came to Rob, just like his family did. Unfortunately, this was just the beginning, and I'm sure y'all are like, what? How is this just the beginning? Yeah, I remember this so clearly because I was, 16 at the time, and I was a summer camp counselor, and I was supposed to be watching kids, but I was just watching my feed because, woo, it was messy. This was a time, okay? So in July 2017, a few months after they split up, Rob had a very public meltdown on Instagram. Rob posted graphic nude photos that Angela had privately sent him. Along with these revenge pornography photos, he also had a stream of accusations against her. He alleged she was abusing drugs, alcohol, alcohol and had been unfaithful to him. So like I said, this was revenge porn. He did this out of anger and hurt, but regardless, that is never okay to do. In one post, Rob said, "I never been so disrespected in my life." He said this after China allegedly sent him a video of herself with another man. The posts were absolutely disrespectful and inappropriate. And within days, Angela obtained a restraining order against Rob, and she took to social media, including an interview on Good Morning America, to condemn his actions. She stated that she was devastated, she thought that she could trust him, but she ultimately felt betrayed. And the courts agreed with Angela. Posting those photos online were not only immoral, but also very much so illegal, okay?
What was your reaction when you first saw Rob's posts about you?
I was devastated, of course. I'm like, how could somebody like post these pictures of me? And I'm like, wow, okay. Like, this is a person that I trusted. I just felt
betrayed?
Yeah, betrayed.
There are reports that you liked some of the photos that he posted. Is that true?
No, I didn't like none of the photos. I actually have Robert Kardashian blocked from my Instagram.
What made you decide, I'm going to take legal action?
Well, I've talked to Rob, you know, about everything. I've talked to him. The moral of the story is, like, he doesn't respect me. So if you can't respect me, you have to respect the law.
So Rob probably settled from all of his emotions through his lawyer, apologized and said he regretted his actions. And he basically went silent after that, complying with the restraining order and keeping a low profile. The fallout of Angela and Rob was huge, okay? This was a very pivotal moment in Rob's career and life. Not only was it obviously very prevalent on social media and the tabloids were loving it, but it also led to an ongoing legal battle. Angela filed a lawsuit accusing Rob and several of his family members of sabotaging her reality TV career. She claimed the Kardashians got their show, Rob and China, canceled, costing her income. And I can see this being somewhat true because after this incident happened, this was in between them like allegedly filming for the next season of Rob and China. That would have been a blockbuster season, okay? People would have watched the heck out of that season because of all the drama, the ongoing drama at least. And the case actually went to trial in 2022, but Angela ultimately lost that case. But along with this, Rob and Angela also had to figure out co-parenting. And despite Rob being arguably a bad partner, he was an amazing father. And China's lawyers even acknowledged that at the time, saying in quote, Rob's been a fantastic father, and that they felt both parents ultimately wanted the best for their daughter. And over the years, custody arrangements were sorted out, and despite periods of tension, Rob and Angela eventually settled into a relatively drama-free co-parenting routine. For Rob, however, the result of him and Angela's relationship took a severe toll on his already fragile mental health. I mean, imagine dealing with insecurity and depression, and then adding the stress of a highly public relationship, a new baby, a courtroom fight, and becoming a poster child for revenge porn. That would be a lot for anybody, despite it being the consequences of his own actions. After 2017, Rob once again left the public eye, and rightfully so, because after what he did, I think he needed a break, but it was a very long break, okay? Rob essentially went off the grid completely. He quit reality TV. He no longer posted on social media except for a very rare post, maybe of his daughter, a happy birthday wish to his mom or his siblings, but we never really saw Rob. And today, as of 2025, Rob has not appeared at all on the family's new Hulu series, The Kardashians. And he's said to be content staying behind the scenes as of now. He does make the odd appearance at family gatherings where fans might spot him in the background, but he's no longer a public figure in the way that his sisters are. But this retreat has reportedly been undoubtedly good for Rob's mental well-being. Over the past couple of years, there have been reports and even supportive Instagram posts from his sisters that Rob has recommitted to his health, both mentally and physically. He's been said to be eating better, exercising, and has shed a significant amount of weight. It seems that after years of him fighting his inner demons and battles, Rob is slowly rebuilding his self-esteem away from the public eye. However, there was one concerning incident that cast a shadow during this rebuilding period. So in late December of 2022, rumors erupted online that Rob Kardashian had suffered a near-fatal drug overdose. Now, this shocking claim originated not from TMZ, shockingly, or any mainstream US media, but from foreign outlets and gossip blogs. So according to these unverified reports, on the night of December 27, 2022, Rob was rushed to the hospital after being found unresponsive, allegedly with alcohol, oxycodone, and even fentanyl in his system. These allegations say that he was revived and kept for observation. Upon him waking up, he became emotional, saying this in quote, "I want to die. Fame is not for me." And he even went on to express anguish over not spending enough time with his daughter. It was also alleged that Kris Jenner swept in quickly, instructing hospital staff to keep the situation quiet from the press. Rob allegedly begged not to be sent to rehab and was released a couple days later, just in time for New Year's 2023. What also made this story a little bit suspicious and allowed a lot of fans to agree that this was indeed true and the Kardashians were covering it up was that the Kardashians seemed to post Rob a lot more right after this incident happened. Kim was making posts about Rob. She had Rob in the background from what people thought they heard his voice. Kris Jenner was talking about Rob's sock line Arthur George, but that just led people to believe more that they were just trying to cover it up. And there were a lot of media outlets, including influencers and creators online, sparking more rumors by suspecting that there was indeed something that happened on December 27th, 2022. Now, the family allegedly covered up this scare, but let's be clear, this remains an alleged incident. The Kardashian family has never confirmed any overdose, and no reputable entertainment news outlets have reported definitively on it. It largely just lived on gossip forums and was treated more so like a rumor. But some fans do believe that this indeed did happen. And of course, we'll probably never know the truth, and it's quite frankly not our business. But the fact that such a dire rumor was even plausible in the public's mind speaks volumes about how fragile Rob's health seemed to be at the time. The family did later indirectly reference Rob having gone through dark times. For example, in 2023, Khloe mentioned that Rob had been through a lot personally, and she said that when explaining his absence from the new show. And this aligns with the notion that, true or not, the end of 2022 was a rough period for Rob. But thankfully, by 2023 and into 2024, things were looking up for him. On Rob's 38th birthday in March of this year, Kris Jenner posted a heartfelt tribute on Instagram calling Rob, in quote, "one of my life's most special blessings," and she was praising him as an incredible father, brother, and dad. Now, whether or not Rob ever does appear back on camera, Rob stayed out of trouble and continued focusing on himself and his daughter, and his siblings occasionally gave hopeful updates. It's clear that a lot of people wish the best for Rob. The few glimpses that we do get of Rob, people get very excited and hopeful that we may one day see Rob again on camera. But overall, people are just happy that he looks healthier and that he's in a better state of mind. And for me, when you look at him being a part of a family like the Kardashians, where it is very clear his sisters are the stars of the family, I'm not surprised that he has gone through such tragic mental health problems. And I feel as if Kris Jenner should have been more of a supportive and helping hand when it came to her son, in reference to maybe boosting up his career. I think Kris probably coddled Rob a lot, whereas she raised her daughters to be these successful businesswomen. Maybe if she coddled him a little bit less, he would have had more of a career and been more of a person that was huge in this industry. Even if it wasn't this industry, maybe he could have become a lawyer in his father's footsteps. Maybe he could have been a doctor, I don't know, or just had a regular life. But it seems that Rob just is in the shadows and maybe getting handouts from his family members because of his depressive state. And it does not help that his sisters, especially Kim Kardashian, are so hard on him and mean to him. But we only see a small snippet of what Rob and his family's dynamic is, okay? So I'm not going to judge and speculate too much. But it goes to show show that men's mental health needs to be prioritized and we need to speak on it. Not everyone is built to live in the spotlight, and I think that's okay. I think when we come to reflecting on Rob's story, once again, we're also invited to reflect on how we view men's vulnerabilities. Rob's struggles with body image, for example, shine a light on the fact that men too face hurtful societal expectations. The Kardashian women built brands in the beauty and fitness space. I mean, their entire image is surrounded around their faces and their bodies. With Rob growing up amid perfect female bodies, it likely amplified his own insecurities about his looks, especially when his sisters were praised, whereas he was not as much. And Rob's story shows that men do experience body dysmorphia, emotional eating, and crippling insecurities and anxieties, but it's just not talked about as much. But I do love to see that Rob is seemingly in a better place. But you guys, that is the end of today's video. I of course want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on Rob and his mental health? What are your thoughts on the Kardashian family and how they treated Rob? And what are your thoughts on Rob and how he navigated relationships and how a lot of the ways that he navigated it is what led to the decline of his mental health? Let's get it all discussed in the comments down below, but of course, as always, be respectful. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Reminder, we're on the road to 300,000 subscribers, so please be sure to do so. I love and I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.
Taking you in this moment, come get close like you all night. Read your aura, you want more.